The education landscape is constantly evolving. Staying ahead of the trends is essential. Welcome to EdBuzz LA County, where we explore groundbreaking initiatives, inspiring stories, and innovative practices shaping the future of learning here in Southern California. The Greater Los Angeles Education Foundation is the premier philanthropic partner of LACOE and the school districts served throughout the county. The foundation is funded by grants and through many individual donors in LA County. I'm Elizabeth Grasswich, and I'm joined now by Carrie Franco, President and Chief Deputy of Strategic Partnerships and Innovation at the Greater Los Angeles Education Foundation, and Dr. Deborah Duardo, the Los Angeles County Superintendent of Schools. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
So getting started, Dr. Duardo, the foundation was formed a little over 4 years ago, and it was really your vision. Can you share a little bit about why it was important to found the foundation and your vision for it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the work that we do in education is exciting, beautiful work, but it's also challenging. And we don't always have the resources and the funding that we need to think creatively, to create, innovative type programs. And a lot of the superintendents that I was interacting with, kept asking for a specialized type of funding to do something different. The funding that we get often is restricted, and you can't just use it for something innovative. And I was working with a philanthropist who was interested in donating money, and at first I was thinking of one specific type of program. And then it just dawned on me that rather than taking this one-time funding, which was significant, it was $3 million, instead of taking it one time and creating a program, we could actually build a foundation that would allow us to sustain and to continue to bring more funding in. So it was really about how can we have a constant flow of funding to support the different programs we need in LA County.
The timing of the foundation was so perfect, and there was so much work that was done during the COVID pandemic. And fast forward to today, Carrie, when you think of the foundation and you share information about it, what are our priorities and the mission of the foundation?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for the conversation today. So the mission of the Greater Los Angeles Education Foundation is really to advance the deep collaboration between schools and communities, to disrupt inequity, and to support the diverse learners throughout LA County. We prioritize our work and we focus in 5 major areas, one being college readiness and career pathways. We focus on LACOE's Community Schools Initiative, advancing digital equity, expanded learning, enrichment, and district partnerships. And then finally, we focus on student-centered teaching and learning.
Dr. Duardo, so now that you're seeing this enacted, what are some of the things that you see the foundation doing in terms of tackling some of the greatest equity challenges in education?
Yeah, it is really exciting because we've come a long way in a short amount of time. And, some of the things that the foundation has been able to provide is targeting specific programs to meet our most vulnerable students. Oftentimes we have children that are living in poverty that just don't have access to the same types of programs that support their education as some of our more affluent students have. So work that they've been able to do in terms of research, even identifying what those differences are, where those equity gaps exist, and some of the best practices to address them, whether it's looking at how we better teach the African American learner, how do we implement dual enrollment in communities where children often don't have exposure to college or the opportunity to participate even during high school, taking a college course. We have mini grants where we're providing teachers. And again, all of it is focusing on where is the highest area of need and how can we make sure that the foundation is doing right by our children who deserve to have equal access to some of the same types of supplemental programs that other children have.
And so for Carrie, what are some of the specific examples of the programs and initiatives, and how do they directly impact our students?
Absolutely. Well, as Dr. Duardo just mentioned, there's just so many different levels and so much need out there. And so some of the things that we really try and focus on is making sure that our programs, our services are targeted, are specific, because when you have lots of priorities, at the end of the day, what's your priority, right? And so we really have to ensure that the work that we do as an intermediary is really directly impacting students. So I'm super excited about our scholarship portfolio that we have. This is something that the foundation inherited when we were established. There were already some really fabulous, meaningful scholarships that LACOE employees had established, like our Heritage Scholarship funds. And so those are scholarships that support students from diverse backgrounds. We have a number of memorial scholarship funds that honor, provide support for students, but really honor those who have dedicated their lives to education and to supporting children. And then we have external scholarship funds that are new and developing. We just started one last year, the Eric and Christine Alegria Public Service Scholarship, that's dedicated to students who want to serve study in college or career, public policy, and advocacy. So, just a wide range of opportunities for our students and growing. So that's, something that's really important. Another really exciting project that we are working on and have been since the early days of the foundation is our really great partnership with Best Buy Foundation and the Annenberg Foundation. So through this partnership, it was initially a $10 million investment that earmarked funds for the development of Best Buy Teen Tech Centers. So, when you think about in today's world where everyone's on a screen, we're all virtual, obviously gathering for a number of years was impossible, but this importance to bring students together now in really targeted ways where we're providing opportunities to learn about technology and applied service learning projects and hands-on projects. These teen tech centers are really that center.
But they're also, I just want to interject, they're also in the highest need areas of the county.
Absolutely.
So again, going back to that equity issue about where do students need additional supports that they don't necessarily have access to in their community.
And that's the beauty of the partnership, right? So Best Buy, this is a national project for them, but through their partnership with us and LA County, we've been able to identify the 12 locations throughout the county where the highest need is. And so we're taking projects that are nationwide and they're, these large initiatives, and we're bringing that directly to the communities that need them most to ensure that our most vulnerable communities and our students have access to programs like this. So those are the kinds of partnerships that when you say you're excited for it, this is just exciting work. And I think that what's really, when we think about all the programs, and I've just named, just a couple when we do so much, but the opportunity for growth. That's the key, is that we do great things now and we've just begun.
Well, and we talk a lot about the fact that we are the largest regional education, organization in the nation. That means you're supporting the largest regional education organization in the nation, and there is so much need. So what are some of the strategies that you use to make sure that your work is having the greatest impact, seeing as that we have so much work to do?
Absolutely. And to this point, I go back to our initial leaders and the vision, Dr. Duardo and all of the initial folks on the ground. The foundation really was established to maximize impact in really four ways. So strengthening and developing partnerships, full stop. We are as strong as our partners, right? The second one is we convene and we network with districts to ensure that those partnerships, those opportunities are touching our students directly, and that's through the power of our district partnerships. We also believe in data and making data accessible. So as you mentioned, Dr. Duardo, there's a level of research and activity, and that's because we believe in collecting and analyzing data where we can take what's the topic and the research and the trends and the studies and make that accessible so that practitioners can actually utilize that data. Because we know that we live in a world full of information at your fingertips, and sometimes it's a lot and you don't know where to start. It's just, fatigued, right, of all of the information coming at you. So we really work to try and create avenues and pathways, through white papers and other convenings so that the data can get through the noise and get to the educators who need it most. And then the last thing I would say of a key strategy of the foundation is we really believe in advocating for policy that supports all of our students. So while the foundation is not a direct advocacy organization, we work in a way where our programs really support the policies and the programs and the local, our state policymakers, our local policymakers, our education leaders, and we really try to make sure that we're supporting that work and leveraging that to bring those opportunities to districts. And so that's really where our public-private partnerships, live, right? Because there's things that are happening and policy that's happening. So we have to ensure that every child benefits from good policy and that we're bringing the philanthropic and the nonprofit, world together so that we can support our districts who then support our students and communities.
Carrie, talking about how we're having an impact, you have something new you're rolling out this spring, a Philanthropy Summit. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So we are so excited for the LA County Philanthropy Summit. It's our inaugural gathering and convening. The theme this year is Uniting for Student Success. It'll take place on April 9th in Pasadena. And really the impetus behind why this was an important convening to undertake is really the lessons and the things that we were seeing on the ground, right? So our foundation, we really did recognize our really responsibility to serve as a regional education foundation. Given our relationship and our partnership with LACOE, we had this awesome responsibility to be able to see things from a regional perspective. And one of the things that we saw and we recognized early on is just the lack of consistent and equitable foundation, education, and philanthropy for all of our districts and communities. And so of the 80 school districts, we'll give an example, about 61 of them have education foundations on record. Of those 61, just about half of them are active and successful in their own right and in their own communities. And so we celebrate that. That's amazing work that dedicated leaders have been really paying attention and supporting philanthropy in those communities. But the other end of that is we recognize that some districts and communities don't have that support. And so we really thought it would be just such a special moment, an important moment for us to convene and bring together these exceptional leaders, education foundation leaders, district leaders, and really support districts where they're at. So if they're thriving with their education foundations, we support, we salute, we celebrate, we elevate. If districts don't have that kind of dedicated partnership, we also celebrate them and say, how can we help? How can we engage? And we do that by convening and networking and sharing the lessons and celebrating together. And so it's a really a big moment for us as an organization, especially given the fact that we take our lead from LACOE, and we know that all the things that you all do at LACOE and the work, is taking care of all 80, right? What we're stronger together. And so this is just our piece to ensuring that we can help in that narrative and we can help support all of our districts and communities.
Well, and it very much does kind of mirror the work of LACOE, so we're excited about it. I know you have another kind of key initiative that's fairly new, the LACOE Signature Fund. Can you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So the LACOE Signature Fund at GLA was established last year, and it was really established out of a growing need that we had recognized for LACOE to put on some really fantastic and targeted events throughout the year. So as LACOE, we know, there's Superintendent's Collaborative and the Wellbeing Fest and just a myriad of conferences and professional development events that not just impact educators and LACOE staff, but also support students. And so we know that, the last couple of years, right, we were all home. Events changed. We did all the events, turned to virtual settings, and if they were not postponed, perhaps they were canceled altogether. And so, coming out of this kind of pandemic fog, if you will, the importance of being together in really meaningful and targeted ways. We didn't want our students, our educators, our LACOE staff to miss out on those opportunities. And so we really we thought, okay, how can we support LACOE? What can we do differently given this new and really pressing critical needs, right? And so we created the fund. And it's our sponsorship platform. We garner support from organizations all around the nation. Actually, we do have some sponsors from other states even. I mean, it's really building a community of support for LACOE events. And then also building a community of sponsors. So part of the background of this fund is we've moved away from event sponsorship models, right? So it's not that we're looking for a sponsor for a event that happens once a year. Instead, this model is that we're building a coalition of sponsors to support all of the events throughout the year. And that really gives us an opportunity to build partnerships and meaningful relationships with our sponsors. And then it's an opportunity, of course, to highlight and to elevate the work that, the great work that LACOE is doing. And so, we'll be doing some fundraising around it. LACOE staff, our employee giving program, will be able to sponsor and support this fund. LA County, we're in the process of applying to be a recognized nonprofit organization, so we can be involved and included in the LA County employee giving programs. So there's a lot of work, and it's all centered right now around our signature fund.
And there's so many opportunities to give, whether it's through the Signature Fund, it's through scholarships, or funding one of the priorities. Dr. Eduardo, what is your message to people? Why should they give to the Greater Los Angeles Education Foundation?
Well, the whole reason why the foundation was created was to ensure that all of our students throughout LA County have access to high quality programs, resources, and supports. And it's all being done through a lens of equity. And so if you care about children, if you care about education and the pathway and the opportunity that a good education provides, if you want to give to schools but you found it challenging because you don't know exactly how to get in there, Carrie mentioned that a lot of our districts have their own programs, but they're not active because they have so much going on. So to make it easier to give to any of the 80 school districts in LA County, to support the programs that we have for all children, it's a great way to support education through a real organized, structured way to make sure that the funding is going directly to kids.
So, we've started out talking about it was founded almost 4 years ago, and all the great work that's happened. So, Carrie, as you look forward to the future, what are your goals and what are your hopes?
So this is actually my favorite question, and it's my favorite thing to talk about the future. Just the sheer opportunity. When we talk about everything that this foundation has done, it's mind-blowing to say, it's only been 4 years. It has only been 4 years. So when we look to the future, we are going to think big. We are going to be bold and unapologetic in striving to support our schools, our communities, and meet the needs of our students. We do this with confidence as this regional education foundation, and we do it because we know that we do it with LACOE. We stand with LACOE and the 80 school districts and LEAs. We were born out of the leadership and vision of LACOE. And at the heart of who we are is LACOE. Mm-hmm. It's our heart and it's our soul as an organization. And so because of that, we're going to follow and we're going to align with LACOE's strategic goals and the really fabulous programming. And so that's the big vision, right? Specifically, though, we're going to grow our capacity. We're going to grow our capacity for fundraising. We've talked a lot about how philanthropy supports education systems. We've talked a lot about how philanthropy and donations can be that catalyst for change and innovation and equity. So in order to do that, because we are a public charity, our funding comes from foundations and corporate, business leaders and individual giving. We have to ensure that this organization is here to stay and is permanent. And so the sustainability of our work relies heavily on the foundation and the contributions and donations of folks. We are also going to build our partnerships, right? So I said earlier today, our partners, we are as strong as our partners, and building and ensuring that we not only strengthen the partnerships that we have, but build more and continue to tell our story and share and highlight and elevate all of the great work that's happening district-wide, county-wide, region-wide. Those are really important goals that we need to stay focused on. And then finally, I'll say that it's our goal to ensure that our programming and the work that's coming out of the Greater LA Education Foundation is really focused on meeting the needs of students. So we have to always be careful. There's so many great organizations out there and great entities with good hearts and great intentions. But sometimes we think we have all the answers, and we think that because we're coming with some funding or we're coming with partners that we can dictate how a systems should be improved or what needs to happen in a school district, in a school, in a community. And that's not the case. The case for us, and what's really important for us as we move forward and set our goals of what we're going to look like in 10 years, is ensuring that we're meeting the direct needs of the community. And that comes from the community. So, being able to convene and listen and adjust and, meet the hot topics, things that come up that we need to be responsive to and support, as well as that overall, long-term strategy and goals to create systems change that we need. So we're going to be busy in the next 5 to 10 years creating our path, but I have no doubt, I'm absolutely confident with the leadership of LACOE, with the leadership of our board, our fabulous staff. We're a small but mighty team. We have a lot of work to do, but we're going to get it done because we're going to keep moving forward.
So exciting, so many opportunities to support the students of Los Angeles through the Greater Los Angeles Education Foundation and its partnership with the Los Angeles County Office of Education. I want to thank Dr. Eduardo and Carrie Franco for sharing the amazing work that the Greater Los Angeles Education Foundation does to empower students, strengthen schools, and enrich our community. To learn more about GLA, visit greaterlaedfund.org. I'm Elizabeth Graswich. We'll see you next time on EdBuzz.